What's up, Facebook? I'm sitting here last couple of days since Monday. Been watching the George Floyd trial. Bits and pieces, hour at a time. And today was probably the most shocking day to be able to see that witness break down on the stand. And first of all, let me go back. We all, under this judicial system that the United States have, whether we think it's fair or not, get a trial. And it may or may not be fair all the time. It's not fair all the time, especially for black people or minorities. The judicial system ain't always fair. The police ain't always fair to us. I know that for a fact. I will say that. But also, too, at the same time, when someone commits a crime, and it's a blatant crime, and for people to choose not to see it or ignore it, and I get defense attorneys. I get we need to have those defense attorneys. It's their job to do the best job they can to get the person off. Or the less jail time as possible. Or whatever case may be. But it's their job, the defense attorneys, to get people off. Now, in this particular case, and I'm sure you guys can tell, I am just like everybody else, very angry with the whole situation. Yes, George Floyd may have been whatever. George Floyd may have been whatever. You can say that. George Floyd was whatever. But it doesn't justify him being done like that. Doesn't justify him being treated like that. Regardless if he had drugs in the system, regardless if he was a convicted felon, or whatever his past experience was with the police, or whatever the situation, regardless if he was 6'5", 6'6", 6'4", 300 pounds, 200 pounds, whatever the situation was, George Floyd did not deserve to die like that. And for a police officer, or for people to say that was consistent with his training, that's bullshit. For people to say, for those other officers not to react in a way that they should have acted, because you're scared of what that senior officer is going to say or do to you. I mean, for instance, the young lady dispatcher, how she said she looking at the camera and she had to call somebody, a supervisor, or make a phone call, or the EMT that got on stand and said how she felt when they wouldn't allow her and her partner to give treatment or render treatment, and it was how shocking and amazing that they didn't render treatment to the man. And that's the most unforgettable part is you did not render treatment, and you had him handcuffed. You had him detained. How is he resisting arrest? How is this man resisting arrest? And you have him detained, and you're not allowing him to breathe. You're not allowing him to sit up and talk to you like a normal person would. It's reprehensible. And I can only imagine what may happen if they find this dude not guilty. Or if it's a hung jury. This country was built in a way to where I'm going to make you think. 1619. For those of you that's smart enough to know what that is, then you already know what that date is. If you don't know what that date is, that's when slavery started. And here it is, 400 years later, what has really changed? And going back to this case, it's looking at it, and then when they show parts of the video, it's very difficult. And then they show that cop's face, the way he's looking, with disdain in his face, like y'all, and then looking like y'all motherfuckers need to back up. And then they say the cops were saying the crowd was a threat. They wasn't even threatening y'all. They were telling y'all to get up. And then if that's the case, call for backup. Call for more police officers. If you feel a crowd is a threat, there's only 3 or 4 or 5 people out there. And half of them were kids. Kids look up to police officers, or being told to look up to police officers. Police officers are heroes. How are kids supposed to do that when they see what they see police do? How are kids are supposed to look at police officers and think of them as heroes when police officers are treating people like shit? This whole thing with George Floyd, this whole case is crazy. And it's a powder keg. It's a powder keg waiting to happen. I don't care who you are, where you come from. A person does not deserve to get treated like that. A person does not deserve to get treated like that. I don't care where they come from, who they are, what color they are. What a person does not deserve to get treated like that. We're better than that. We're better. We're way better than that. We're it's you can sit up here all day and not watch and not want to make a comment on it. But at the end of the day, this whole trial affects everyone. It affects you too. Because it could be you next. It could be you next. Think about Sandra Bland. What happened to her? She died unnecessarily. All these people that died unnecessarily. Over what? You know, and it's crazy how this case it affects you in a way to where as soon as you see the video, you just automatically tear up or cry. It's like I said, man, no one deserves to die that way. You know, regardless of whatever the situation George Floyd was going through or whatever he did or didn't do, he didn't deserve to go that way. And it's yeah, thanks, appreciate it. Derek, you're right, Derek Chauvin, okay, to be exact. Yeah, I just put George Floyd. Yeah, I should have. But you're right. Derek Chauvin. I was just trying not to use his name or didn't really want to say that ignorant motherfucker's name. But it's sad that a human being, got treated like that. And somebody asked me one day, flip the script. What if it had been a black cop had done a white person like that? Or those are black cops doing a white person like that? And all them cops be locked up. They'd arrest them the first day. You know, so it's interesting how all of that goes down, you know, and we sit here and think it's okay to let them get away with it. And but yet still, we as people have to take some responsibility too. We as a people, we as a race, gotta be able to take some responsibility too. Because, yeah, if you're in fear, I understand if you're in fear for your life, you thinking the police gonna do something to you. I understand that. But also too, you can't live your life like that. You can't live your life talking shit to the police either. Because they in fear too. They scared of us just like we scared of them. You know what I'm saying? So, which is it? We gonna both be in fear with one another? You know, we gonna stay in fear for one another and kill each other off? But it's just sad all the way around. All right,